Are you kids? And a happy Orktober to yous all. If you wants to get some boys for yourself for the occasion, go check out me mate Gear Guts to get some big boys at 20 to 30% off through this month. Link in the description. So, Orks is got better lore than Space Marine beakies got, eh? Now, I know a lot of you Umi-loving kids is probably thinking, well, that's a matter of opinion, you green skin kid. And to yours credit, yous is right. As the Umi saying goes, the customer is always right in the matters of taste. If you Umis wants to read stories about beakies that spend many plus lots of pages on every Zogan thing at great detail to setting, the planet they is on, the Zogan grass, everything that every Umis is thinking about, whether it matters or not, you know, everything that kills the pace of a good Zogan story, then you's just fine to read the 64 books on beakies that struggles to get to the Zogan point. After all, I is only an orc, so I was never gonna understand why yous kids waste so much time with every single detail of every single thing in the story. But listen here, I sees all these videos on the internet talking about how beaky lore is the best ever, and even Gork's wisdom seems to think that beakies is best when it comes to the whole of the galaxy. I mean, you kids says they's the poster child for everything, which I don't think that really is all that fair. I mean, beakies is tough. Beakies gives the best Umi fights for certain, but there's a lot more out in the galaxy besides beakies. A good example is the fact that beakies got their own table game, right? How it talks about everything with the start of the beakies and how all the beakies started fighting each other, right? Well, where's the miniatures game for the scrawnies versus the sparkies, eh? Where's the game with the bony tin boys fighting the Umi mech boys, eh? And where did Salty Gorka Morka go for Mork's sake, eh? Beakies gets the most books, Beakies got the most model releases, Beakies got the most wins in all the stories, and Beakies got their own Zogan table game. Well, I, and apparently Tawny Green Blip in this Newsphere YouTube thing, want to argue a different take. The idea that Orks lore is fundamentally better than Space Marine beaky lore. And I was just gonna do it using two things. The very nature of what Orksies is, and the simple concept of logic. Now, something I always see when it comes to beaky fans is that no matter what else in the galaxy there is, they's always got to win. Now, I'm sure you beaky loving kids is gonna tell me that they don't win all the time, but compare how much they win to how much they lose, and tell me that Gork's wisdom ain't playing a bit of favoritism with the beakies. They even win when it don't make any Zogan sense. I mean, Zog me! I know you me big boss beakies is really strong, but how the Zog do you choke a statue to death? Like, I know it's a scrawny god statue and Days ain't the strongest, but it's a Zogan statue! It's made of like rock and metal and things like that, and it certainly ain't got no lungs and such. How do you strangle that? Seriously, someone's all gonna tell me. I wants to know how to strangle a statue. Now here's the part where things might seem a bit decisive. You beaky loving kids may think that I was about to say that this is all unfair and such, but no, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. Cause see, here's the thing, you kids. One of the best things about Orksies is that no matter what happens in any story that Days is in, Days is always doing what they wants to. And no matter what happens, Days is happy with whatever happens. Like, let's take this Captain Titus kid. This lucky blue beaky is able to take out many and lots of orcs by his own Zogan self. He's killed boys, he's killed knobs, he brought down a ship, and he even beat War Boss Grimskull all by himself. All by his Zogan self. Now, think of what would happen if that situation was flipped. What if there was some random knob going around killing many beakies, enemy gargants, big warships, and things that look like that? If that was something to happen in a book, or some kind of lore event, as you Zogan Umis call it, the Zogan beaky lovers would lose their Zogan minds. We never hear the end of it. Don't lie, you know ours is right. If the events of Shooter's Blood and Teeth, which is a game about a flesh get crumping Umis, beakies, Umi tanks, Umi kill tanks, a half city of buggy Umis, a Umi stomper and an Ork stomper, were made into canonical books and things, beakies and beaky lovers would rage harder than a mid-flight jaws starving buzzer squigs. It ain't right, they would shriek. Orks ain't that strong, they would yell. Ignore the fact that beakies versus Orks is actually a pretty fair and balanced scrap if there were the same number of beakies and boys fighting each other. Now, you might be thinking that I'm saying this because I think it's an obvious favoritism matter and that I think it's unfair. But no. See, ours is an Ork. And when it comes to this, Orks don't care. See, Orks don't care that much about living forever. They want to fight as much as they can, as hard as they can, and win as much as they can. From an Ork perspective, Days is doing exactly what Days is supposed to do and love, right? So it's like, no matter how many of them die in a story, it don't really all matter. Orks just don't care that a single beakie was able to crumple lots and lots of mobs of Orks, and even their war boss single-handedly. If anything, that gets boys fired right the zog up. Cause just imagine what kind of fight that would be. Fighting a beakie like that. That would be epic. Yet, from an Ork perspective, if a bunch of boys heard that a single knob was able to crump many mobs of beakies and 10 boys by themselves, it would equally charge them the zog up. Either to go have a go at this Gordomon greenskins to have the best fight ever, or to follow this massive boss of bosses, cause it's obvious they knows where the best scrap is. No matter what the situation is, boys is gonna be happy. In this case, Ork lore is better than beakie lore, cause no matter what happens in the story, Orks is happy. Not only is they doing what they is made to do and love, but no matter what happens, they is excited about the outcome. All it means to boys is a bigger and better fight no matter what happens. Whereas if a single Ork crumped mobs and mobs of beakies, the beakies would get all angry and annoyed and whiny. That is why in this case, Orks is not only the most logical, but Orks is best. And speaking of winning versus losing, Ork lore is better than beakie lore when it comes to all bosses and name characters? See, the one thing I keep hearing about with beakies is that the only way that most of them stay alive is due to a thing called plot armor. Apparently this is a Zolgan bad thing, which I don't understand. If you've got the best armor, why not use it? But anyway, point being, according to the collective consciousness of the internet, plot armor is a bad thing. Makes for a bad story, right? But Orksies, we's never got that problem. Due to the nature of Ork toughness and the questionable concepts of mortality when it comes to greenskins, there's a lot that us Orksies can do that makes sense that beakies can't do. Like for example, the baddest Ork in the galaxy, Gazgul Meg Orktober, was killed by some beakie get what wasn't even a chapter master of them space coyotes or whatever they is. Which, to go back to the earlier point, would have been impossible if the roles was flipped. And again, it didn't matter cause Gazgul had his head put on an even bigger body with bigger mega armor and no one questioned a thing. He ain't the only one either. The next biggest war boss in the galaxy, Uftek Blackhawk, also had his Zolgan head cut off and died. But thanks to Dark Troll's Fang, the boss's pain boy, Uftek had his head stitched right back onto his old boss's body, not only bringing him back to life, but giving him a bigger Zolgan body. I mean, salt me, you don't even need to be an Ork or have a body for that Zolgan matter to come back from the dead without the use of plot armor. Boss Gazgul's lucky crop Makari has been killed over and over and over and over and over again. So many times the boss even lost count. But every time, Gorkin will directly sent Makari back to the boss from the Great Green. No questions asked, no plot armor needed, it's just the way Orksies is. Sometimes we can come back, sometimes we can't, but my point is, we don't need beakie plot armor to bring us back. We can do it anytime, anyway, and it don't matter. And more importantly, it's all gonna make sense. Now, the next thing that makes orc lore better than beakies is mindset. Like all Umis, beakies believe in this stupid Zolgan thing called the Imperial Truth. Basically, it's a big list of things that is supposed to always be true no matter what the circumstances is. And, as I said, this idea is Zolgan stupid because it don't make any Zolgan sense. For example, in the Big Book of Gazgul, Makai was imprisoned and interrogated by some Umi Inquisition git and the Pekkai Beakie, but there was also a Umi weird boy with them. Or I guess I should say an Umi weird girl. And not only was this Umi Psycho a weird girl, but they was an Ogren as well. Now, according to this book, one of the Imperial Truths is that no Ogren can be a Psycho. Despite the Zolgan fact that there's an Ogren Psycho right there. And the Umis was gonna kill them because it didn't keep up with the Zolgan Imperial Truth. Looks like the Imperial Truth ain't so truthful now, does it, you daft kids? Rather than doing what you're supposed to do with weird boy psychos, aka bringing them out so they can buff all the warp lightning and everything in front of them so they can crumpin' everything in their path, these stupid Umis was just gonna kill them instead because of that stupid Imperial Truth. Then there's another Imperial Truth that all they knows is bad. And to be fair, yeah, it's cause we all wants to fight, but I remember hearing about this time when some smarty pants scrawny super weird boy was gonna use the souls of a bunch of other super scrawny weird boys in crystals to wake up their big scrawny god of death. So they could stop that there god of purple crab claws and they them demons. Apparently when scrawnies die, this thing eats their souls, so it makes sense to me. That would just mean that there'd be more scrawnies in the universe to smash. But then the beakies and the black armor that really hates non-Yumi shows up to stop them. And I goes to ask, why? Because the truth of the matter is that if the scrawnies could wake up their scrawny god to death, then there wouldn't be just more scrawnies around to fight, but there'd also be more Umis and beakies to fight. Cause yeah, that purple sticky crab chaos god thing makes it bad for scrawnies and beakies, and the scrawnies even says that it would help all the beakies and Umis too if they did this. And what did the beakies do in response? They shot the scrawny super weird boy and the scrawny death god stayed asleep! Are you fucking joking me with that? What kind of sense does that even fucking make? See, since Orks is logical, we've got the ability to do whatever the Zog we want for whatever Zogan reason we's has got. That is, as long as there's this fights to be had, and as long as we can explore all the different ways that we can corrupt. We's is limited by nothing. If he wants to mob up with a bunch of Umis in order to fight something bigger and better, we's can do that. It's right Zogan weird, but yous can. I mean, Oz has even heard about a couple of Ork freebooter kids who flies around the whole galaxy as some kind of bodyguard for the Umi road traders. Again, it's Zogan weird, but yous can. The magical thing about Orks is that when it comes to greenskins that is right nutters, Days is just gonna get kicked out of their clan, not outright killed. Whereas Umi seem right willing to kill each other at the drop of a hat for any minor infraction. And while it's true that Orks fight and kill other Orks, we only do it cause it's fun, or maybe we needs to get some scrap and loot, or that Zog over there who's got a better shooter than me. Orks is never killed out of some Zogan weird dogmatic principle. So, unlike Beakie law, which states that they can only act or think a very specific way, Orks can do whatever the Zog they want. Days is gonna be seen as complete weirdos by other Orks and get kicked out of their clan, but Orksies can do whatever the Zog they want. Finally, as a bit of a bonus, let's get a little existential here and talk about the best thing that Ork lore has compared to the Beakies, that is more about their models here. See, every time a tin boy or an Umi or an Ork or any other git besides Beakies gets us a new model, the beakies got to get one too. Not only that, but beakies has also got more models than any other group of gets in the galaxy. So, while scrawnies can look like this, and them their jungle enemies can look like this, who's on me? Beakies is always getting the best stuff, cause they's is beakies. But orks, ha! Here's a little funny thing about orks with models, right? These models is never outdated and can be everything to everyone else, including beakies, goats. Now, case in point, tank busters. When it comes to ork models, these are some of the oldest and most dated models that Orks has got, right? Yes, I talking well know that they recently got an update announcement and this is beautiful. Not me point. The point is that it's right and proper for anyone that loves Orks to make their own tank busters out of scrap that they's got. Like this one. This tank buster is supposed to be one of them their rocket pistol boys, right? Well, while the official rocket pistol tank buster looks like a pile of melted squid droppings, the scrap-built pistol tank buster not only looks great, but no one is gonna zoggin' care that it looks like that. That's not official, cause that's the Orky way. You try doing that with them jungle enemies and people's is gonna give you the stink eye. And not only is Orks immune to the horrible aging effects of old zoggin' models, but we's just never waiting long to get new models, cause everything can be a new model for us. Don't matter what group of gets it was supposed to be getting them, we's is Orks, and Orks is best at looting. So, while other groups of kids has got to wait forever to get their new things, Orks can just take them. And we ain't even got to be mamby-pamby favorites of Gork's wisdom like beakies in order to do it. Listen, I like beakies. These are some of the best scrappings that yous can get. But if you look at everything logically, the right and proper Orky way, it's painfully obvious who's got the better lore in the stories and in this game. But what do I know, I guess? Or is it just an orc? Yous can disagree if yous want, and yous can even whine in the comments if you want. Don't really care either way, cause that is the Orky way. But if you got a bit of green in you and you at least open your lugs to me points, well, I can't ask for much more. Well, except for the two things that I always ask for, you little kids, shove up and jog off!